Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Last time around, we had the 5th laboratory, where, sure enough, Ed and Al infiltrated the 5th laboratory. Al fought a guy named Barry, and Barry made him doubt himself. You know, perhaps Al is actually just a puppet being controlled by Ed. And that actually did get to Al, which was kind of weird, but whatever, we'll see where it goes. Ed, meanwhile, was fighting two dudes in one. The Slicer brothers? Yeah. And they had a very interesting fight, and then they were going to tell Ed the secrets, and then Lust and Envy showed up and killed them, and they spared Ed because they're going to use Ed as a sacrifice, but they returned him to Al and Maria and Denny. Yes. And then Colonel Hughes called Roy and was like, yo, get married. And Roy was all mad. So, yeah. That's basically it. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. So, let's just jump into this episode. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Here we go.
I don't know anything as good with breakfast as a glass of Borden's milk.
Unless, of course, it's another glass of Borden's milk.
Right.
Hey, Mom! Be sure to buy Borden! Buy Borden!
Okay. Well, I was going to see if they credited the old man, but it doesn't look like it, so... Well, welcome to the first episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, where Alex doesn't look up voice actors. No, that's going to cut down the time. Okay. That was an in-between episode. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to talk about on this episode. It was good. But, yeah, that, I don't know. I don't know. It definitely felt very in-between. Interesting. I mean, this is basically, my first note here is good slap. This whole episode is basically just a good slap to the boys, you know? Oh, jeez. Accidentally got a little bit of water on my glasses. Yeah, it's basically a good slap to both of the boys, you know? Which is interesting, that we're kind of... I don't want to say we're still getting it, but I feel like we get that a lot, almost. But yeah, I like the first slap for Ed, which is, you know, you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to go out there and risk your life, which... I mean, or you don't have to go out there without relying on anyone, you know, without help. And I get that. It kind of feels like after the fight with Scar, when Al was like, you know, don't sacrifice your life, you know, keep moving forward. You have to keep going so we can get our bodies back, you know? So yeah. But I did like that, just that good slap. And yeah, I really like Maria and Denny. Like, those two were really good additions to the crew. So yeah. Winry's now at the Capitol, which is pretty good. Pretty nice and cool. And yeah, I always love when we get to see her. So yeah, making a service call and getting that last screw in there. And I like how, you know, they talk about I like how, you know, it's like, oh, Ed's in the hospital, and she's thinking, oh my god, it's because of me screwing up. And then he's like, oh no, it was me, you know, I screwed up. I was just fighting too hard, you know, like you said. And then it cuts to Winry. It's like, he has no idea that I did actually screw this up. Play along. So that was funny. I did really like that. And yeah, honestly, like, I kind of like this idea of Winry just sort of sticking around, because, I mean, yeah, after everything that happens with, you know, after, like, every time Ed fights, like, you should probably keep your service hand, you know, on call when you need her, you know? Now, it's interesting that basically, like, I guess there's no other automail mechanics in Central, or maybe it's just that, you know, it's like going to your doctor, like, you know, you should probably go to your person. But that's interesting. But either way, if it means keeping Winry around in Central, I'm totally fine with that. Although her having to stay with Colonel Hughes is a bit rough. It's a bit rough because that man, again, I can never get a read on that man. He's just he's so everywhere, you know? Like, he can get super serious, but he's also a goof, and he's terrifying. I love that he doesn't like, you know, boys, you know, with his daughter, you know? That was really funny. He's that protective of his daughter, so that was funny, and yeah, just Winry staying with them is really funny. Now, you would think that Ed and Al would have a place, you know? They would have a place in Central, but maybe they're... maybe they're more in, you know, military barracks or something, or... No, I don't know. Like, I don't see why Ed and Al don't have a place in Central that Winry could stay at, but... Oh well, doesn't matter. But yeah, that was really, really good. I like that. Let's see. And then Al, I'm so glad that this isn't continuing into like another episode that, all right, we had the whole thing about, you know, Al doubting himself because of Barry the Cutter and stuff like that. It's like, all right, and that's done. Let's move on. But yeah, all of that. So the whole thing is, Ed feared that Al blamed him for losing his body, and then, yeah, he pretty much said that, you know? He pretty much said that, and then, oof. And then I like, again, the next slap, although this was a slap with a wrench, was Winry just beating the shit out of him, like, what the fuck are you doing, you know? So, and yeah, it's so frustrating because, you know, you cut back and, Granny Rockbell's like, you know, Al's not the kind of kid who would blame you, you know, because he's a good kid and stuff, and then you get that, but it's the fucking doubts, you know. But then I like how they work it out, that they work it out with a fight, you know. That was good. They worked it out with a fight, and then it's like, all right, we said some things that we don't mean. We gotta move forward, you know. Let's face the facts. You know, Al is real. Let's go, you know. So I like that. That was a good fight. I also love how they said they fought to decide who would marry Winry, and Al won, but she rejected him. It's like, aw, that's sad. I mean, I don't blame him though. Like, I don't blame him. It's like, I really love Winry. So like, yeah, yeah, if you have to go for anyone, you know, specifically like the only girl that we know in your village who is around your age. So I guess there's also that. But anyway, yeah. And that's kind of it. Actually, that's kind of it for my notes. Yeah. I mean, maybe the only other thing is it's hilarious that Ed just hates milk. It's hilarious. And it's hilarious because for me, like, look, let me be real with you. Every night, I have cups that are about yay tall and maybe yay big, like big O cups that I fill with milk. I drink like 2 of those every night. I fucking love milk. Milk is great. It's good for you. My fucking bones are solid. I will admit I'm a bit of a big bone boy, but my fucking bones are fucking solid. And I'm also 6'3", so fucking drink your milk. Drink your goddamn milk. That's the PSA for today. But yeah, that's kind of all I got. That's kind of all I got on this one. You know, I'll go ahead and just add the last note being Scar Slum, I guess. That's what they called it. Down in the slums. Being saved by Inishvalen. which is pretty cool. It must be nice for him to know that there are other survivors of the Civil War. And then, yeah, the whole thing with his right arm, which I guess we should write that one in too. Right arm. Right arm. Brown? No. But yeah, his right arm with his tattoos, which is interesting. I would be curious if maybe that's part of his alchemical circle. Maybe, I don't know, because there are people that have that. I mean, the state alchemist that he fought, that was there in his dream, had that, like, it seemed to be tattooed on his hands. That also looked like the guy from the prison that we kept cutting back to. So I think that might be him. Must be this Soft J. Kimbley guy. So Sulf. What a strange name. Anyone out there named Sulf? Sound off in the comments. Yeah. That's kind of it. That's kind of all I got. Short discussion on this episode, but yeah, I don't know. There wasn't a ton I could really talk about. Maybe because I wasn't too interested in the whole Al doubting himself plotline, so I don't know. The only other thing I just remembered is I love when Hughes comes in and he's like, "Oh, I heard you brought in a blonde girl to service you." And it's just like, dude, fucking phrasing, man. What are you doing? And it's like, oh man, this dude, again, I can never get a read on this guy. He's so fucking weird that, like, I can never pinpoint what he is, So, yeah. Well, that's basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood reactions, as well as another playlist you can click on, or a video if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen. Maybe you should also click like. That might be helpful to people like me. See you guys later.